Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And as I've said in many of my previous videos, the feds are going to be busy with individuals who have schemed the government with PPP loans, illegal shell companies. The feds are going to be very busy going after these entertainers with the Survivors Act out of New York City. We have a new presidential administration with Trump. And also there are going to be plenty of politicians that are going to be in hot water. And so I have one for you straight out of Boston, Massachusetts. A black female who has been, this Boston City Councilor has been arrested on federal public corruption charges. And when you have these money schemes, not only is the FBI after you, the IRS will come after you also. So here again, these alphabet organizations that represent the government, they are coming after these folks. So you better make sure you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's, and doing the right thing. So let's get into this one and this alleged scheme. Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandez Anderson has been indicted by a federal grand jury for an alleged kickback scheme to obtain thousands of dollars in cash from a staff member in exchange for a large bonus. Tania Fernandez Anderson is 45, of Boston, was indicted on 5 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. Tania Fernandez Anderson was arrested and will appear in federal court. So they also say elected officials have a duty to serve the public with the highest integrity and not to abuse positions of trust for personal gain. By allegedly orchestrating a scheme to funnel public funds into her own pocket, City Councilor Tania Fernandez Anderson betrayed the trust of her constituents and violated her fiduciary duty as a public servant, said United States Attorney Joshua S. Levy. Our office remains committed to holding those who abuse public office accountable and protecting precious public resources. The FBI arrested Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandez Anderson for allegedly orchestrating a kickback scheme in which she stole thousands of dollars in taxpayer money for herself, said Jody Cohen, special agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, of the Boston Division. Using public office for personal gain is a crime. Her behavior, as alleged in today's indictment, is a slap in the face to the hard-working taxpayers in the city of Boston who have every right to expect that the city's funds are in good and honest hands. This case illustrates how the FBI and our partners are working hard every day to battle public corruption and the corrosive damage it does to people's faith in government. Tania Fernandez Anderson was elected to serve the citizens of Boston, but we arrested her for allegedly orchestrating a kickback scheme to enrich herself through the misappropriation of city funds, said Jonathan Wodyka, acting special agent in charge of the Internal Revenue Service criminal investigation. So you see we have the Boston FBI and the Internal Revenue Service. Elected officials are held to a higher standard when they take an oath to serve, but to Tania Fernandez Anderson, her oath meant nothing when she allegedly chose to steal from the city of Boston and her constituents. We are committed to working with our law enforcement partners to root out public corruption at every level. Tania Fernandez Anderson currently serves as City Councilor for Boston's District 7, which includes Roxbury, Dorchester, Fenway, and part of the South End. She was first elected to office to a 2-year term in November 2021 and won re-election in 2023. Well, so let's get into what she did. According to court documents, in or about 2022, Tania Fernandez Anderson hired 2 members of her immediate family, which is a conflict, as salaried employees of her city councilor staff. Because city councilors are prohibited by law from hiring immediate family members to their paid staff, Fernandez Anderson was required to terminate their salaried employment in or about August 2022. Keep following me. Additionally, in or about March 2023 to May 2023, the Massachusetts State Ethics Commission notified Fernandez Anderson of its findings and that it would be seeking a $5,000 civil penalty payment from her. According to the indictment, that's because she hired family members. But according to the indictment, staff member A was a relative of Tania Fernandez Anderson, but was not an immediate family member. So I guess that's where she thinks she had a little wiggle room. In or about November, because it said immediate family member, not that you couldn't hire any family member, but that's where it gets into this gray area. In or about November 2022, Fernandez Anderson allegedly emailed a City of Boston employee regarding her hiring staff member A as a salaried employee, falsely representing that she and staff member A were not related. So if she put in there that she was not related to her, whether an immediate family member or a distant one, then she lied. Talking about Councilor Tania Fernandez Anderson. From in or about early mid-2023, Fernandez Anderson was allegedly facing personal financial difficulty, which included the outstanding $5,000 civil penalty payment to the Ethics Committee. It is further alleged that in or about early May 2023, Fernandez Anderson told staff member A, follow this, that's her relative, that she would give them extra pay in the form of a large bonus, but that staff member A would have to give a portion of the bonus back to Fernandez Anderson. Staff member A agreed to the arrangement with Fernandez Anderson. So she was going to give her a large bonus outside of her salary, but to staff member A, the family member, but staff member A is supposed to give her back some of the money in cash. Kind of sounds like the Fannie Willis situation down in Fulton County, Georgia, that she had going on with her assistant prosecuting attorney boyfriend that has gotten them in hot water. In or about May 3rd, 2023, Fernandez Anderson allegedly sent an email to a City of Boston employee to process bonus payments for her city councilor staff. In the email, Fernandez Anderson instructed the City of Boston employee to process a bonus payment of $13,000 to staff member A, more than twice as large as the total amount of all bonus payments to Fernandez Anderson's other staff combined. She's going to give her $13,000. Fernandez Anderson allegedly did not disclose the bonus kickback arrangement she had made with staff member A to the City of Boston employee. So it was in secrecy. Staff member A deposited the bonus check on or about May 26, 2023, into their account at Santander Bank. It is alleged that Tania Fernandez Anderson's direction, staff member A then made separate cash withdrawals of the payment on 3 separate dates. And here are the dates. $3,000 on May 31st, 2023, $3,000 on June 5th, 2023, and $4,000 on June 9th, 2023. How do they not know that these transactions, all of this is a technological footprint? It is alleged that on June 9th, 2023, immediately following the final cash withdrawal, Fernandez Anderson and staff member A arranged to meet at a bathroom in City Hall. How crazy is this? In City Hall, cameras everywhere. There, staff member A allegedly provided Tania Fernandez Anderson with $7,000 in cash. So they did this illegal transaction right in City Hall. You talk about arrogance and hubris. The charges of wire fraud, but listen to the charges. This is where it gets serious. The charges of wire fraud each provide for a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. The charges of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds provides for a sentence of up to 10 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release and a fine of up to $250,000. Sentences are imposed by a federal district court judge based upon the U.S. sentencing guidelines and statutes which govern the determination of a sentence in a criminal case. So in these federal cases, these federal judges don't get much wiggle room in adjudicating their sentencing. They are stringent and stiff. The U.S. Attorney Levy, FBI Special Agent Cohen, and our IRS Acting Special Agent Wodyka made the public announcement. Assistant U.S. Attorney John McConney and Dustin Chow of the Public Corruption and Special Prosecutions Unit are prosecuting the case. The details contained in the charging documents are all allegations. The defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Why am I doing this? What a story. You hear about public corruption and kickbacks and money schemes all the time, whether it's aldermen. We had 3 aldermen in St. Louis a few years ago. Even the president of the Aldermanic Board a few years ago, they got in trouble and got sentenced to prison. It was videotaped that they were receiving cash kickbacks for favors. And now you have this young lady who was very active with BLM, Black Lives Matter, very vocal about the system. And this female Boston city councilor got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. This is a 45-year-old woman, Tania Fernandez Anderson, who should have known better and should know to do better. These storylines and these cases are just to bring a wider, broad attention to us as taxpaying citizens that we need to make and hold accountable not only our national politicians, but make sure we pay attention to our local politicians. Know who your alderman is, your city councilors, your state legislators. Know your state's know your state constitution. Know who your governor is, your lieutenant governor, how they're voting. Those state issues and those state laws can affect you each and every day when you walk out of the door. And we need to make sure that we are electing and putting the right people in the right places. Don't think for 1 second that just because there's an alderman or a city council person that they shouldn't be held at a higher standard, no different than a U.S. prosecuting attorney, our federal judges, our state judges, our district court judges. Any of these people that are managing and governing our rights need to be held accountable at all times. Tell me what you think about this story out of Boston with this city councilor that got arrested on a kickback. This is a Trevor Donald Experience.